Hello and thanks for watching. I am Eric with Simply Elegant Home Cooking, and today I'm going to be showing you one of my favorite dishes. Today we're going to be doing a pasta sauce with spicy Italian sausage and mushrooms. This is a very easy dish. It's actually one of the first dishes I ever learned to cook. So you can do this dish whether you have a lot of experience, a little bit of experience, or no experience at all. It's very easy, it's delicious, it's a crowd pleaser, so stay tuned and I'll show you how it's done. Starting with our tomato products, we'll be using a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, 14.5-ounce can of stewed tomatoes, and a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. For seasonings, we use a tablespoon of dried basil, a tablespoon of dried oregano, and a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. Now that's going to give you quite a bit of heat, so you might want to scale that back if you don't like your food quite so spicy. Salt and pepper to taste. I'd recommend waiting till the end to add these after you've tasted. You might not need much. We'll be using about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil for sauteing. 1 pound of spicy Italian sausage, typically that's about 5 links. 1 8-ounce package of sliced bella mushrooms. 5 large cloves of garlic chopped up fine. Half a cup of Italian red wine. And 1 pound box of pasta. And I almost forgot 2 tablespoons of white sugar. This is important. It'll add a little bit of sweetness to balance out the acidity of the tomatoes. You'll want to use a large saute pan with high sides like this. And we'll start off by turning this up to medium-high heat. And you want to let that come up to heat all the way before you add your sausage. The first step is going to be to sear the Italian sausage. We just want to make sure that we start on a high heat. That's going to allow us to develop nice color, which is going to give more flavor to the sauce. While our saute pan heats up, now's a good time to prep the Italian sausage. You just want to remove all of the casing. Set that aside and form into individual bite-sized pieces. Once complete, your Italian sausage should look about like this. And now we've had enough time for our pan to come up to temperature, so we can add this to the pan and get started cooking. Our pan has had time to come up to temperature. At this point, you want to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And then you can add in your sausage. And you'll notice that sizzles when it hits the pan. That's the sound you want to hear. You just want to make sure that you have your heat high enough. That's going to give us a lot more flavor and color as we saute this. You want to let that go for about 3 to 5 minutes until it's browned on all sides. We've now been going for a little over 5 minutes, and you'll notice that the sausage has developed a really nice golden brown color you can see on a lot of these pieces. That's really going to make a big difference in the flavor, as opposed to if we had thrown it into a cold pan. So we got nice brown flavor on all this meat, and we're ready to add a couple more of our ingredients. You want to throw in your mushrooms. Your garlic. And your basil and oregano. At this point you want to turn down your heat to about medium. That's very important so you don't burn the garlic. And you just want to give this a really good stir to incorporate everything in there nice and evenly. And we're now going to let that go another 5 minutes, stirring occasionally. So here's how things should look after about an additional 5 minutes. You'll notice that our sausage has taken on even more color and our mushrooms have cooked down quite a bit. We can now add all the rest of the ingredients. So I'm going to start by going in with all 3 of our tomatoes, our tomato sauce, stewed tomatoes, and tomato paste. I'm going to get that all in there. You can add in your red pepper flakes, your sugar, half a cup of red wine. Now, in addition to the wine, you also want to add a half a cup of water. And that's just going to thin it down a little bit. This is going to cook down quite a bit. So we now have everything combined, and you just want to give this another good stir to combine everything real nice and evenly. So you give that a nice stir, and you want to put this all the way down at low and medium low. Depends a little bit on your stove. Once that temperature has a chance to adjust, though, we should see just the very smallest amount of simmering. We don't want to let it get too hot, but we want to just let that simmer away for a full hour. So that's what we're going to do, stirring occasionally. So we've been simmering away for about 40 minutes. And you'll notice that the sauce has thickened up quite a bit. Throughout this whole process, I've been giving it a stir every 2 or 3 minutes like so. Now I do want to point out that this is a great dish to make ahead of time and freeze. I'm going to be plating this up today, but this is a dish that I often make in large batches. It freezes extremely well in freezer bags, and it's something that you can take out after a long day if you don't feel like cooking. You can have a really great dinner prepared in a matter of minutes if you make this ahead of time and freeze it. So that's one option, but today we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be serving it up. So at about this point, about 40 minutes in, you want to prepare your pasta water. It's going to take about 10 minutes for that to cook and an additional 10 minutes to come up to temperature. So we're going to get that started right now. So for our pasta, you just want to take a large stock pot full of water. We're going to set that to high heat. And that's going to take about 10 minutes to come up to temperature, an additional 10 minutes to cook. So we want to get that going about 40 minutes into the simmer process. And one note for the pasta, I'm using this type. This is a brand called DiCecco. This is a really premium brand. It's actually made in Italy. It costs about an extra $1 a box more, but it's really worth it. You're going to notice the quality. And I like to use fusilli. There's a number of different shapes that are going to work well. This is one of them. You could also use pen pasta, ziti cuts. You want to use a large cut pasta. It's going to stand up well to the large cuts of sausage and mushroom. It's going to work a lot better for this dish than noodles. So we're 10 minutes in and the water is really boiling away. At this point you want to add your salt. And you want to add a good amount. It should have a consistency almost like seawater. You put that in. And then you can dump in a whole box of pasta. We're going to let that go for 10 minutes, stirring occasionally. So our pasta's been cooking away now for nearly 10 minutes. It's ready to be drained and combined with the sauce. One note, you definitely don't want to rinse it. You want to drain it and you want to immediately dump it right into the pan, finish right in the saucepan. You want to make sure that you leave some of that starch water that's going to help the sauce adhere to the pasta. So I just want to reiterate, do not rinse your pasta. So we're going to take care of that right now, combine this, and we'll be ready to plate it up. Our pasta's been drained and we're ready to dump that right into the sauce. So all you want to do is you want to dump that in with any small amount of water that's still remaining with the pasta and give that a nice stir. You want to just stir that up until it's completely combined. So when you're finished, it should look something like this, and we can turn off the heat and we're ready to plate this up. So here's the finished product. Here's what your sauce should look like once you've combined it with your pasta and plated everything up. I really hope you try this recipe out. I hope you enjoy it. Please leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you again soon. Thanks very much.